And the government shutdown became the longest one ever this week, and it is unclear exactly when it might end. Scripps News congressional correspondent Nate Reed joins me now from Capitol Hill. And Nate, it has been a long week up on Capitol Hill and abroad. I'm seeing these headlines that maybe there's some incremental progress. What are you seeing from where you are?
Yeah, incremental progress or possibly a derailment waiting to happen. That is the question up here on Capitol Hill. And to be clear, there's a reason I'm not in the Bureau with you today, Andrew. It's because the Senate is in. This is effectively a rare Friday session for them, given that they've been out of Washington for much of these long weekends the past several weeks without any sort of deal in sight. The fact that they're actually here on Friday and Senate is scheduled to come in at noon Eastern, just a sign that maybe we are a bit closer to some sort of agreement to end this stalemate, to reopen the federal government. Ultimately, there are reports about a proposal coming from some Republicans, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, to reopen the government. That proposal, though, not clear if Democrats will be willing to sign on to it. For one, they are feeling emboldened after their election victories and the off-year elections on Tuesday. They might push for more concessions from Republicans. Ultimately, Democrats I spoke with said the way to get out of this shutdown is easy. Get President Donald Trump involved. Take a listen. Do you think that there's an off-ramp to end the shutdown by the end of this week?
Absolutely. The off-ramp is for the president to get involved and to say to Speaker Johnson, bring the House back in, add a one-year extension to the Affordable Care Act tax credits, and we could be, I suspect we could open within the hour.
And again, the biggest outstanding question, whether President Trump will actually get involved in those negotiations, whether he will sit down with Democrats. They wrote him a letter demanding a meeting earlier this week. No real response there. The president, though, has blamed his own party for the ongoing government shutdown and the results of the elections on Tuesday. A lot of questions about whether that could move the needle up here on Capitol Hill. And to be clear about all the different ways that things could go wrong, Andrew, even if they are to pass something through the U.S. Senate, House Speaker Mike Johnson threw cold water yesterday on the possibility of bringing up some sort of bipartisan deal with leadership buy-in in the Senate up for a vote in the House of Representatives. And even if somehow it makes it through the House and Speaker Johnson changes his tune, effectively they would need the endorsement of the commander-in-chief. President Donald Trump would have to sign any potential bill in order to make it law, in order to reopen the government. So again, a lot more questions than answers about all the ways that this could possibly get derailed as the details emerge about this possible deal, possible framework to reopen the federal government, Andrew.
Yeah, and Nate, as much as I would like to see you in person here in our Bureau, the fact that maybe they are making some progress on Capitol Hill, certainly welcome news to those who are reliant on SNAP, to those who might be looking to go to an airport this weekend. One of the other things that we've heard the president talk about is this idea of getting rid of the filibuster. Where do things stand on that, and how does that play into the shutdown debate?
Well, look, getting rid of the filibuster, that 60-vote threshold by which the vast majority of legislation is passed, could mean the shutdown would end immediately, effectively, because Republicans have needed to get those 60 votes to pass this government funding bill. Getting rid of that 60-vote threshold means they could pass it with just a simple majority, 51 votes. This shutdown bill has been getting something in the range of 54 to 55 votes every single time, meaning it likely would pass. The question is, though, if Republicans on Capitol Hill really want to do that. Certainly some of them have spoken up, raised their hands, saying that they're willing to change the Senate's long-held filibuster rules, allow for majority rule. But some of President Trump's closest allies, even on Capitol Hill, are throwing cold water on that plan, making clear they have no plans to change the filibuster rule. Here's what Senator Lindsey Graham, the Republican from South Carolina, a close ally of the president, told me yesterday. President Trump again today posting about trying to remove the filibuster, pressuring you guys. I mean, has your opinion changed at all? Where do you stand?
Well, I think we need to, no, I don't want to change the filibuster rule simply because every time parties change and you have different presidents and different parties, you'll have wild swings in policy and it'll be very disruptive to the country.
To be clear, Democrats did try to remove the filibuster when they had the crucial trifecta, control of the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives back during Joe Biden's term. They were trying to do it in order to restore Roe v. Wade after the Supreme Court rolled it back. Ultimately, they were unsuccessful because of a couple of Democratic moderates who later became independents. Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona, now retired, and Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, he's retired as well. Again, that internal opposition prevented them from removing that filibuster rule. But Republicans are concerned. The Senate Majority Leader John Thune has openly said they do not have the votes to change the filibuster rule. And there's concerns about doing so for a number of reasons. For one, Democrats could potentially pass Roe v. Wade, something Republicans are opposed to, try and restore abortion rights to all 50 states and even more territories, possibly even admit D.C. as a state and Puerto Rico. That could lead to a flood of up to 4 more Democratic senators, just juicing Democrats' margins in the U.S. Senate, making it harder for Republicans to win a majority if D.C. becomes a state and Puerto Rico becomes a state. So again, there's a lot of reasons why Republicans are opposed to this. A lot of questions, though, about whether the president's pressure will continue to fall on deaf ears, Andrew.
Yeah, interesting to see Republicans up where you are, Nate, sort of push their way away from the president. Not a lot of issues
Pretty rare
we've
at this
seen
point.
them do that on. Yeah. So potentially a big day on Capitol Hill. We'll keep checking in with you. Scripps News congressional correspondent Nate Reed for us. Nate, thanks.